a combined weight of 375 pounds. This is the team of the Vandal and Najasism. They are the Movement!
Well, ladies and gentlemen, action going underway before the opening bell even rings. Andrew Pendelton III, this match right in your wheel well, the tag team division, you being a former three-time tag team champ, as the bell finally sounds. The next couple of weeks, we're going to be crowning #1 contenders to the Anarchy Tag Team titles, sort of a 4-team tournament. This is the first match in that tournament. The team of Shadow Jackson and Nemesis representing Unforgivable Blackness against the Movement, Najasism, and the Vandal.
And you talk about an exciting time to be a fan of tag team wrestling. Right now, 4 of the best tag teams in the business duking it out to see who is the best in all of Anarchy Wrestling, and one of the premier tag teams in the world.
Well, in this match, there are 4 teams. 3 of those teams are former tag team champions. Unforgivable Blackness, the Movement, and the Washington Bullets. The 4th team, next week we will have this other match. It will be the Washington Bullets taking on the Stray Cat Brody Chase and the Anarchy Heavyweight Champion, the untouchable Jeremy Vane.
And you talk about 2 contenders in Anarchy Wrestling that are very familiar with the championship. That is Brody Ray Chase and Jeremy Vane.
So whoever goes on to this final match, if you will, the winner here this week will take on either the Washington Bullets or the team of Jeremy Vane and Brody Chase at a future date. The winner of that match will be the #1 contenders for the tag team titles.
And you know what, granted, I will give them their due. The Movement is flashy, they're fun, but you know, you can just look in this ring at Shadow Jackson and Nemesis, and they mean business. You know, the Movement, you know, they got some flashy moves and some front flips and some back flips, but realistically, if you wanted to fight 2 out of these 4 people, it's not going to be Nemesis and Shadow Jackson. It's not going to be Unforgivable Blackness. The Movement makes Al Roker look like Malcolm X.
You're going to have to give me a minute on that one. But it's interesting to see the Movement are double teaming, fast double teams, keeping a fresh man in at all times. We're used to seeing that double team tactics from Unforgivable Blackness. It's almost as if the tide has turned.
Well, no, they're trying to tag in and out quick, because I know if somebody gets a hold of them, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. I don't know if, obviously, have you ever been in this ring?
I have not.
Have you ever stared down Nemesis on the other side of this ring?
Well, I have stared down Shadow Jackson more than I'd like to admit.
I'll tell you, I'm a man that is afraid of nothing. But one thing that makes me nervous is standing on the other side of that ring from the Urban Assault Squad, now known as Unforgivable Blackness, with Jeter. And you talk about some intimidating folks in professional wrestling, that is Shadow Jackson and Nemesis.
Well, you talk about #1 contenders being determined, and speaking of the 475-pound wrestling's most dangerous weapon, Jeter, next week on this program, he will go one-on-one with former Anarchy heavyweight champion, the Temptation Sean Tempers. The winner of that contest will be the #1 contender to Jeremy Vane's heavyweight title.
And you talk about a match of brains versus brawn. You got Sean Tempers, one of the most decorated champions in the history of this sport, and you have Jeter, just a mammoth of a man, but not a whole lot going on upstairs, so we'll see if his brute will outmatch Tempers' wit.
Well, next week, one of those 2 superstars will be the #1 contender to Jeremy Vane's championship. And how interesting is it that with that contenders match, Jeremy Vane will be trying to become a #1 contender for the tag team title.
Now what is going on here? It looks like Shadow's trying to get in the ring. We have a couple teams in the ring here. What's going on?
Well, it looked like Vandal was trying to apply a figure 4 leg lock, but it was standing. He never laid down with it. Shadow gets a hold of the Vandal, chokes him on the top rope, as he trips over Nemesis.
And we got a ref that has completely lost control of this match. He doesn't know if he's coming or going. What is he doing?
Well, there wasn't a tag made.
Is he the legal man? We don't have any indication from this ref. Is he a legal man? He's counting as he's the legal man.
Well, referee Mark Cooper's going to allow the switch. I don't believe there was a tag. Well, Vandal sent into the wrong corner by Shadow Jackson, as we see Nemesis choking away as the referee's distracted.
I think if you asked Shadow Jackson, he was in the right corner, wouldn't you say?
I'm not going to ask Shadow Jackson anything. I don't want to go near that man.
I don't blame you. He'd probably kick the crap out of you.
I don't need.
I know I've asked him to every time I've seen him.
Well, that explains a few things.
And you talk about some of the most vicious knife edge chops in this business. I have literally had my chest split open until it was pouring blood. Ow! If you have never been in this ring and experienced one of the most painful things you can experience is the knife edge chop.
Well, what is Nemesis going for here? Reverse DDT.
And he had that arm tied in there as well. I wonder if he was trying to extend that tricep as well.
Nemesis trying to put away the Vandal and move on to what will be the final match to determine #1 contenders for the Anarchy Wrestling Tag Team Championship.
And this does not look good for the Vandal.
Big cannonball into the corner. That somersault throwing all of his body weight into the chest of the Vandal.
Vandal maybe minus an eye. He's grabbing the side of his face. I don't know what hit him, but it wasn't good.
Kick out at 2.
And again, that's muscle memory because he's out of it. He doesn't know what's going on.
Fans, it's hard to believe how fast this year is going by. You know, we're just a few short weeks away from Fright Night 2013.
And just giving that man a high five straight to the back. And Copperpot getting right in there. You know, you don't want to get involved with Nemesis. He might smack those old teeth out of your head. You know.
Now, Andrew Pendelton, you've been a participant in Fright Night many times
course.
before.
It's main event of Fright Night, sir.
Sorry, you've been in the main event at Fright Night. What does it mean for these superstars to be a part of Fright Night?
Well, again, Fright Night is one of the 4 largest events that Anarchy Wrestling puts together. It is an honor to wrestle on Fright Night, but, you know, that's for a man like me, I don't care about the honor. What really is fun is the fact you get paid two to three times as much on a big show like Fright Night as you would on a traditional Anarchy TV taping. And that's what it's all about. We're all here to make a paycheck, some like mine much larger than yours, but it doesn't matter one way or the other. You know, it's always a fun night of action, and it's always an amazing main event in every Fright Night I've ever been a part of.
Spinebuster by Shadow Jackson goes for the cover. May have given Vandal too much time as he kicks out at 2. Shadow Jackson seems surprised by that, but he didn't go for the immediate cover. Had he gone for the cover right after that spinebuster, he may have been able to get the 3. As we hear the crowd rallying behind the Vandal.
The Vandal needs something because he's running on fumes.
And down goes Shadow. Vandal may have gone for the cover, but decides wisely to try to tag his partner. Jackson still has a little bit left in him, able to keep that tag from happening as Nemesis tags in and drops the elbow to the back of the head. And a second one.
And again, you see how that elbow drop pinpoints the back of his neck? That's the connection between the brain and the rest of his body. You damage that connection, not only is it dangerous as far as that, but he may never walk again with those pointed elbows. Oh.
Nemesis dropping all of his body weight onto the chest of the Vandal.
The Vandal's taking some pretty serious abuse. I wish I had the white towel. I'd throw it in right now.
Listen to the crowd rallying here behind the movement.
And the crowd can rally all they want, but they're not in there taking that beating. I don't think there's anything that can save the Vandal now.
Well, a tag may help. Drop toe hold. Single leg crab. Unusual to go for the submission. You would have thought after tripping, he would have tried to make the tag.
And again, you talk about the inexperience of a tag team, the movement, not making the tag, but luckily, he gets in there and makes the tag.
Well, Vandal heard the tag made by Nemesis. Wise to let go of that single leg crab and tag his tag team partner. Najasism on apron, kick to the side of the head of Nemesis. Springboard drop kick to the knee.
I have never seen a springboard drop kick to the knee off the top rope.
And a drop toe hold sends Shadow Jackson onto his tag team partner. Ducks the clothesline. Double close. Oh my. Unforgivable Blackness does not move. The drop kick stumbles him. Ducks the clothesline.
And here's where the innovation and the speed helps the movement. You have a fresh Najasism Ninja Gaten, and he's in there and he's just cutting and jiving and juking and flipping and flopping, and I mean, I don't know what he's doing. you know, kicking people in the head and doing backflips and cartwheels. It's like a little circus performer.
He's trying to win the match. A boot to the midsection. Drop down. Neck breaker. Drives the back of Shadow Jackson.
Again, that's the maneuver we've seen so many times. We may have a 3 count.
Well, Nemesis was distracted going after the Vandal. He could have broken up the pin count. Shadow Jackson able to kick out at 2. Nemesis throwing the Vandal out of the ring. Najasism ducks the clothesline of Nemesis. Catches the foot. Clothesline says Najasism over the top rope and out to the floor.
And Nemesis smart to hold on to those ropes to block that from the Vandal.
I think we may have seen the end of the line. Oh my.
Oh.
1, 2, and 3.
Your winners of the match and advancing to the next round of the tag team top contender, the Urban Assault Squad.